Hello and welcome in for another episode of Comic Book Food Chain. Guys, this is our 17th episode. Am I getting that right?
I hope so, because that's what the title slide says.
Nice.
That is accurate, but guys, that is 17 episodes for you boys hanging out. Of course, Comic Book Food Chain gives you perspective from across the comic book food chain, starting with our writer, Mr. Frank Gogol. Take a bow, sir.
How's that?
That was gorgeous, dude. So elegant.
I just wanted the crown to come off too, the crown.
The crown is. I figured out which shoulder it is to point over now. Like I've got it down, like second nature. The crown is right there.
I always look like I'm doing a dance move because you're here, and I want to go bam, and I go boom right here, psych.
And this is why we do the show live.
Damn right.
Like a lawnmower.
And then, of course, cruising downstairs to our pro collector, Mr. Aaron Yeezy. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. Excited to be here.
Love it. And then, of course, myself. Thanks for showing up, everyone. Of course, myself, Bird City Comics retailer is in the house. All right, guys. We got some things to go through. What do you think? You ready?
Yeah. Just throwing it out there. Aaron's got a guest. He's gonna have some foot traffic.
There we go.
In addition to the dog, it's gonna be great. We're gonna play I Spy. Hit us in the comments when you see something weird. All right,
or when you hear the dogs.
Or when you hear the dogs go.
Let's bring up the slides.
All
right. So this week we are talking about comic book pressing, which I don't know dick about. So I'm really excited for this episode. I have a lot of questions. I did my best to find a wrinkly looking comic book cover that was kind of titillating, and I feel like an Avengers #1 hits that mark. A little bit of house. What's up?
You said titillating. Continue.
I did. So votes in the comments or whatever I said to do. But a little house keeping before we get started. We're still on our road to 1,000 subs. We are closing in on 900. We're about to hit 850. If we hit 850 by tonight during this live viewing, I'm going to do something special in 2 weeks. We'll talk more about that later. But if you haven't subbed the channel, hit the sub button, hit the little bell for notifications. Yeah, if you like what we're doing, support us. Like it's that simple.
Just click the buttons, guys. All right, just click the buttons. Give us a little clickies.
Yeah. Like honestly, we don't
just
even
give
care.
A little click.
We don't even care if you tune in. We just want to feel like people love us. It's a modern man problem.
Absolutely.
Anyway, this week we're going to be playing a fun segment called Press or Pass, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So why don't we bring in our guest? And cut the slides.
Rolling drum roll, please. Aaron, introduce us to your buddy here.
Yeah, so this is Joe. He goes by Red Hood Comic. He's on the panel with me on Tales from the Flip Side. So he participates in the Prospect 10, Dealer Flip Side, and our Modern Book roundtables. So,
badass.
Yep, best presser in Texas is what I've been saying.
That's how he pumps it, buddy. How you doing?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Good to be here. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So do you go by Red Hood, or should we call you Red Hood?
Oh man, you can call me whatever you want. And there's something that they wanted a logo and what do you go by? And I had been using that moniker for probably about 3 years. So
right on.
Listen, on this show, you're going to want to give us something, or you'll end up with something you don't want. So
don't make us make it up.
It's all good.
Call you Red Hood.
Okay. You call me Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe Red Hood, Red Joe Hood. We'll get there. We'll get there.
All right.
We'll find it.
All right. So we're talking about comic book pressing. I just real quick for the people who aren't Red Hood, what would you say on a scale of 1 to 10 your knowledge of pressing is? 1 being you know what a press is, 10 you've pressed your own books. I'm a 1. I've paid for a fan to have a book pressed 1 time, and that is the limit of my experience.
So I've been pressing books for close to 10 years now. So I've pressed all kinds of books: Golden Age, Silver Age, Modern. I've pressed magazines, newspaper. Yeah, I mean, you name it.
So you're an 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, man, we got to get into this because I heard you press newspapers. I mean,
anything paper related. I can press. I pressed a coworker's grandparents' marriage document from Hawaii, and she almost passed out when I gave it back to her. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you should tell them about how you got into some of the paper research that you've done. I thought that was very interesting.
So, a while back, and I told this story on Drunken Chat. I had been pressing for a while, and I met this lady at my job that I work at, and she's a customer of mine. And she used to be a curator at an art gallery in Austin. It was Austin or Houston, I can't remember. And then later on, she worked at a used bookstore, and her specialty was restoring documents and cleaning books. And that was kind of enlightening to me. And she gave me a lot of tips that were invaluable, and understanding the study of paper and the chemistry around paper. It kind of moved the needle for me, so to speak, as far as how I'm able to deliver the books back to their customer. It's at a higher level.
Joe, I have a question then. So I'm sorry, I'm listening to you, and you're like the science of paper. Nothing against it, and I don't mean this to sound sarcastically, but is it that interesting where you were like, wow, the science of paper? Because there's a lot to it.
So, I want to add to that question real quick. Is it that important?
There you
go. Doing your job, how much does that factor in? And you can answer both questions, and you can answer mine second.
Mine was better.
Okay, so you can put too much heat into a book to where it just naturally absorbs the water that the paper is made out of, and it impacts the book itself. The amount of heat that you use versus no heat at all. Sometimes you don't even need heat on a book. I see, I hear people saying you got to put it at 170 degrees, 160 degrees. I see people out there using heat presses instead of dry mount presses, the press of choice for me. But yeah, it's important. Give me one of your books, I'll press it for you. Then you tell me if it's important or not. All right. Especially, I have guys that trust me. Aaron sent me 30 of his books, and I would say his cheapest book was about $200.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I've had guys give me 9.6s and tell me to make it a 9.8, and I've made it a 9.8. I've had 9.0s come back 9.8s.
We'll talk. It's fine.
Yeah. I don't know if I answered your question. I would say it helps me understand it. I don't know if it's important for the person I'm pressing for them to understand it, but it helps me as a presser understand what I need to do to make a difference on somebody's book, to be able to clean it better, to make it appear better, and for it to get a grade bump, or them to get their book back, if they've dropped it or messed it up or something's happened to it, to be able to if that makes sense.
That makes a ton of sense. Why don't you, for the benefit of everyone, including myself, walk us through what your process is? You don't have to give us your trade secrets or anything, but top to bottom, what is pressing a book look like when you get one?
Okay, so the main thing, I pre-screen a book. Like if let's see, Aaron submitted 30 books to me. I pre-screened every single one of them, because I'm not going to take anybody's money if a book doesn't need to be pressed, or if there's absolutely no meat on the bone. I can't do anything with it. So I do a lot of things to make sure that there's something that I can do. And I think that's what builds trust with customers. It's like, this guy's not going to take my money. It's like, if there's something I can do for the book, I'm definitely going to do it for the book, but I'm not going to take somebody's money. I pre-screen, and then I use a humidification process, top secret, and then I put a book at a state where it's moldable, where you can mold it into better condition, and based on the damage or based on the year, depending on like if it's golden age, silver age, modern age, all requires different time, temperature, and pressure. I mean, it's all different. All the books are made of different types of paper throughout the years, and then there's different techniques used for square bound, and there's also binary issues that I showed the guys on one of the shows. I think when I first got on Flipside, how I fixed some binary issues. I mean, there's a delicate process around that, and that's one of the main factors that take a book from a 9.6 to a 9.8, especially these modern age books that are a little fatter.
Yeah.
So I've got a little technique that's kind of worked through the years to get some 9.8s. But that's pretty much it. And then I typically like to triple board my books after I'm pressing them because of humidity. Like if I'm shipping a book across the United States, I definitely don't want humidity to impact the book, and then the book adhere back to its original state. I want to keep it nice and tight.
So that's going to be an issue in Texas then, because you guys are humid already.
Absolutely.
So you draw the moisture. I don't want to say you draw the moisture out of it, but that helps. Obviously, heat will dry it.
So you can draw moisture out and you can add moisture in. I mean, it's
because I'm assuming once you take it through a heat process, and then if humidity hits it, it's going to curl the page.
Sure, but a lot of times heat may not be involved. There's technique. There's certain books that need heat and certain books that don't need heat, and I think that's what I've learned over the years, and how to tell. Just the weight of the book, I can tell if a book has kind of been messed with already. Because if a book is heated up, because the paper's naturally made with water, so a book if it's heated up and it's been messed with, it's very, very light. Versus it has no weight, So
interesting.
Absolutely.
Huh.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's one of the signs that a lot of people can tell if a book has been pressed or not is by weight.
Of the book.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. What were we gonna say, Frank?
We've got a couple of chat questions, so I wanted to bring those up. So 9 Square Inches is asking where'd it go? Hang on.
That's a great name.
It's not as scandalous as you think it might be.
Oh, okay.
We thought so too.
Yeah. He collects. He collects art that's 9 square inches, and so he has a website. 3. Yeah.
Okay.
3
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the first question was what the difference between a dry mount and a not dry mount press is. So what's a dry mount press?
So, wow, we're getting into the thing. I didn't know. It's pretty deep.
Give us the newbie answer.
Okay, a heat press is basically what it sounds like. A heat press is metal on metal, right? And there's very little give. Okay, dry mount press has a silicone pad that is designed to, at least not in. You don't want to press the shit out of a book to where the staples are going to pop out, and that's what you can do with those heat presses. And you can't manage temperature as easily as you can with a dry mount press. Right. When you're getting into 160, 170 degrees and you're saying, well, I leave it in there for 10 minutes and man, you're going to screw up somebody's books and you're going to screw up your own books. I mean, it takes a lot of time. I had a little notebook and I was charting temperatures on different paper and, I was getting real Rain Man-esque around this. And I've never, ever messed with a heat press. And I've gotten great advice over the years from other pressers. The best results come from my dry mount press. But that's my preference. Can you get a book pressed out with a heat press? Yeah. I mean, you can. I've seen it done, but can you do it with Silver Age and Golden Age with one of those little itty bitty heat presses? I don't know. You could try. I mean, but
there you go.
Yeah.
So Joe, I got a question for you. There's no how-to. I press my own books as well, and it's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of asking people that work with it too, because there's no guidebook. Have you ever thought about like putting down your knowledge into some type of guidebook? How to press for dummies?
You know, not really. Not really. I mean, I would feel more comfortable if somebody really wanted to learn how to press, come down here and be apprentice with me for a few days, and I would feel more comfortable step by step.
Sure.
That would, because
it's a lot of visual learning. You got to show them.
Absolutely, because I mean, it's just touch, feel, technique. Man, it's like it would take a long time to describe what I need to do, and every book is different, man. I mean, I don't pick a book. Oh, it's the same thing as that other guy's book. I mean, I see some unique stuff on books, man. Yeah. I pressed. I had to clean this one guy's book, and my God, it was a Steranko cover, and it looked like vomit was all over it. The guy was probably tripping on acid or something like that, and I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Are you serious?
Yeah, the one that really impressed me from your Instagram was the what was it? Marvel graphic novel #4 from the before and after pictures. Like, and that's a tough book to get in high grade anyways. And then
the color rub, man.
And then all that dirt that was in the white spots, like, and then it looked like a brand new book from before to after.
And what would that Instagram be? Where can people
check
that out?
At Red Hood.
You got it. You got in early. You got just at Red Hood. No at Red
Hood.
No.
It's here. Let me see. Oh, it's Red Hood. It's Red Hood Comic. All one word.
Red Hood Comic, guys. Go check it out. Follow the Instagram and watch some very impressive before and afters. I flipped through it earlier today.
Oh yeah, what'd you think, man?
Dude, it puts me to shame because I do light cleaning and pressing on all my own books just for my personal collection, so I never felt the need to send them out, and I felt really stupid. I thought I knew some stuff, and then several of those I was like, "Whoa, okay."
I just want to point out that Ant is doing 2 sheet pans with irons on both sides, and it's not the same thing as
no. It's the thing I made the grilled cheese sandwich with the hot iron and the wax paper, and
the panini grill.
You got it.
And you wonder why you're getting those burn lines, right?
Dude, I was wondering why it was overcooked on one half. Damn it!
Just calm remarks. Somebody will buy it.
How are you humidifying your books?
Living in Arizona.
Right, it's extremely dry here already, so I don't add any humidity element. I used to do something really stupid, and I thought was clever. Was I had a mister. And I would put distilled water. I would put distilled water and unscented fabric softener in it.
Oh wow!
And I don't know why, but I thought it made a difference. And after a while, I figured out that it was just me telling myself that was clever.
Well, you can get musty, smell out of comic book. Just put some dryer sheets, unscented, and just put them in the book, and it'll get rid of some of that musty smell. And that's kind of an old school trick that's been around for a while.
I use magic erasers too. You know, the ones you clean your house with.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those.
Oh yeah, you can drag some ink across the page.
Mm-hmm.
I practice a little bit.
Or just start taking the paper off, right? If you got a gloss coat on there. No Heroine had all white covers basically, and the color rub was insane because the back covers were all colored, and just you should have saw me months of just magic eraser gently one direction, cutting it into like 1-inch cubes, and then like swapping it out every 20 strokes. Like, it's just
and then there's the putty. What's that putty that everybody gets? Yeah.
So a lot of artists use that. And I've seen people use it on a lot of magazines. I've seen people use it on comic books, but I've seen more magazines to get some of that color reflectivity back on the shine, back onto a book that's lost its luster on the cover. As far as the comic, man, I mean, I've never really needed to use it. I try in the beginning, God, like I try to, go on YouTube and read about it. And I was buying all this junk to try. And I was just like, man, I don't even need this shit. It's like, but it's good to have it because you never know if you're going to run into something where, you know what, I've tried everything else. Let me just try that and see if I can, because that's what I would use it for, to try and just give a little vibrance to the cover. That's
So when I've seen people use that, I don't know if Frank and Yeezy are familiar with this putty, but basically it's have you guys seen that putty that they sell on Amazon? You put on your keyboard and it seeks in all the crevices and then you pull it up. And
Yeah.
So that's basically what this stuff is. What people start to use it as an eraser, and it's not for that. You're just supposed to roll it over the top, and it's supposed to pick up dirt and grime that's easily to pull off the page and kind of brightens it up. But I see guys in there like digging into books, like, "Oh, you guys do this?" I'm like, "Dude, it's not an eraser, bro."
So one of the best things you can do is, especially with silver and gold, is when you're going through the book, cleaning inside each page and just making sure there's no, just a simple feather duster and just making sure everything's clean. Little itty bitty pieces of dirt can definitely impact when you're pressing. You just want to make sure and then using I have a stainless steel table with my presses. I got like 6 presses and I've got a little workstation, so as sterile as it possibly can be. I'm always cleaning it, and just I don't want a chance messing up somebody's book with a piece of dirt or like hair, who knows, and it's just but yeah, I mean, it's something I take real serious, because there's a lot of responsibility. People are giving me their babies, and I definitely, one screw up and that's my rep, that's it. It's like, oh, he's pretty good, but he fucked up my book. It's like, and that's it. It's like, and I love that pressure. It's it keeps you locked in and it keeps you focused. But definitely you don't want to be too nervous, like, oh my God, because then you'll fuck up the book. But you definitely have to take this seriously and just be very mindful. Like, it's a lot of money involved here now. Like, a couple of years ago, before COVID, it wasn't as much money. Now it's some serious cash, man.
Hell yeah. Well, guys, if you're just joining us, guys, this is episode 17 of Comic Book Food Chain. We're joined with Joe from Red Hood Comics. According to Yeezy, and it sounds like he knows the shit, best presser in Texas right here, guys. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. Again, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell. Give at Red Hood Comics a follow on Instagram if you're in that vicinity, scrolling through some goodies. But we're talking pressing today. You guys got any more follow-up questions for this? Because I got a bunch. I'm going to let you guys jump in.
I want to listen. You go first. You
okay. I have this. Okay. This is a general question for the panel or, anyone watching. Does anyone here consider pressing and cleaning restoration?
I'm going to assume that because there are 2 different words, there are 2 different things. But it sounds like Joe is doing at least a little bit of that restoration stuff.
I mean, from the general definition, I'd say yes, it's a restoration process. But in the terms of the grading world, when you get that nasty purple label, I think that's more along the lines of trying to restore it by using
taping, trimming, and shit.
You got it, trimming, adding color. So,
well,
Easy, that was a sneaky ass question, by the way.
But you want to know the answer? If CGC didn't start up and collab with CCS Pressing and they couldn't make any money out of it, it definitely would be restoration.
Okay.
But then I challenge you to be able to spot anything that I do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now they've got Matt Nelson there, but he can't look at every book. And he's pretty good. He used to restore books. That's what he got paid to do. And he was one of the best. And so he knows how to deconstruct also. So when they have restoration removal, I guarantee he's taught how to do it. And I guarantee that he can spot it a mile away. So like, I've never delved into that because that is an art form. Like that is to be able to leaf casting and stuff like that, and making pulp and just duplicating that. I mean, like that's some awesome. I mean, that's close to like counterfeiting money, man.
Yeah.
But like, I remember when there was a huge debate about 10 years ago whether it was restoration. Now, I don't add anything like color or anything like that. I'm taking away. So like, if I drop my book and I damage my book and I figure a way how to iron it out, like, I'm not restoring it, you know, I mean, I'm fixing it. You know, there's a difference. Like, I'm not cutting out a page from another book and adding it to my book, you know, I mean,
So the line between restoration and cleaning and repair is that you aren't changing the book, you're just buffing it and flattening it. And
absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's
getting it back to the original state.
Right. It's like, it'd be one thing if I was like painting it or like, you know, adding new staples. Like when you get to the point when you're adding staples and stuff like that, that's restoring a book, you know?
So you're like a car detailer.
If you're taking tape off of a book, that's not restoring a book. Taping a book is kind of restoring a book because you added tape. I'm taking that shit off. Right. So, I mean, it's kind of, I wouldn't even say it's a gray area. Like for me, it's just like, it's just like you're cleaning your car and when you wash your car, nobody's going to say, hey, you got your car restored. No, I didn't. I washed it.
Can this be done here, Joe?
Adding to, I've never even, I'm sure you could. I mean, I've never thought about doing that.
But it would be restoration. It'd be restoration.
Yeah, that would be restoration.
Absolutely, man.
That's crazy.
Now, follow-up question: can you counterfeit tattoos? I think that one's a yes. So I have a business proposition. We'll talk offline.
There we go.
Hit up Frank Gogol for Marvel value stamps and tattoos.
Wow, I never thought about that, and I guess that's a thing, man. I guess you could take it off.
It's about to be.
Somebody out there thinks of everything. It's ridiculous sometimes. I would never have thought that.
But those people spend so much time thinking about how to make money, like the hard illegal way, that they don't have to do hard work and just make the money.
It's like that Key and Peele episode. Have you guys seen it? Where the guys are like plotting to rob a bank, and he's like, "So what you're gonna do is we're gonna work at the bank and scope it out for like 20 years, and then we'll retire, and then we got the money for free." And he goes, "That's a job." So it's like that. You go through that much planning, become a scientist. You know, Joe's practically a scientist right now. Did you guys know?
You know, the biggest thing is, man, there's so many good pressers out there. I see them all on Instagram, and I always like their stuff. And I'm not someone that is like, I'm not better than anybody else. You know, the one thing that I do have is experience. You know, that's one thing, and it's just and if somebody were to reach out to me and say, hey, how do you do this, how do you do that, I'll steer them in the right direction. I mean, but I'm not gonna give you some of my best trade secrets that I had to learn the hard way. When I was first coming up, Big Leg Sean Leggett, and he's in our group on Flipside, and I would bug the shit out of him, and I would say, hey, I'm doing this. Am I on the right track, to doing some certain things? And he would tell me, keep doing that. And that was invaluable because, Sean Leggett is thought of as one of the premier pressers in our hobby. And, he's the GOAT, man. I'm doing my own thing here in Texas, and, without some of that advice that he gave me about 5-6 years ago, man, I mean, and just other people, I mean, I wouldn't be able to have this kind of platform or anything like that. So if somebody reaches out to me, I definitely pay you back. Definitely.
It's funny you mentioned Sean, because when I first joined Flipside, I was like, man, I need to find a presser. I don't want to use CCS. I don't want to use in-house CBCS. Like, I just want to use an outside source because, their turnaround times are faster than waiting 3 months just to get your books pressed.
Yeah,
and
insane.
so I asked everyone on Flipside, like, who do I send my books to? And the two answers were Half Price Crook and Big Lake. Those were the top two answers on it. And then when you joined our group, I was excited to hear like that, Big Lake had like basically mentored you in a way that like that you were asking him questions, and then, hey, this guy's in Texas also. What? I don't have to worry about like too much humidity levels changing.
How fast do you get your books back, Aaron? How fast do you get your
shit? Like a week.
I want to say
it was like a week. So
30 books in a week is not a bad turnaround time.
Red Hood Comics, the official comic press of Comic Book Food Chain.
Love it.
Hey, man,
I'm down.
Send me some of your books. Fuck them up, and I'll fix them, man. I promise.
Here you go. I got one for you to fix.
All right.
Oh yeah, you were supposed to send that, man. Come on, baby. I love before and after pictures, man. I wish I would have taken more before and after pictures on a lot of the books that I did, man. Jesus Christ, man. But I'm now doing it now. It's like definitely because I want people to see like some of the stuff that I've learned over the years. This is cool, It's like to be able to, and definitely you enjoy the oohs and ahs. It's like, oh, that's awesome. It feels good. That you're not wasting your time on things.
Yeah,
definitely. It's tripped out my wife. She's like, man, how did you do that? And it's like, So I'm not a good plumber. I can't fix shit around the house or anything like that, but I could fix your comic books.
There you go.
Are you good with an iron too? Like you do slacks and shit?
No, man. I still struggle with ironing, man. If you could believe that, man. I mean, I should be damn good at ironing clothes, man.
So one trick pony right here.
Yeah, just a good trick, man.
Aaron, I want you to send him that book, and then when you get it back in a couple weeks, we'll show off the before and after. So take a picture now, man. And then because I'm converted. I'm in the Church of Red Hood now. So
Red Hood, Joe, what's in your toolbox? Give us like 2 or 3 tools you can't live without aside from your press.
Shark repellent.
Shark repellent. There you go.
Yeah, man, I mean,
just in case,
man. Well, you know what? And I'll tell you what. In about 5 minutes, I'll pause it right here, and I'll go grab some things that'll kind of freak you out. How about that?
Oh, hell yeah! Okay, here we go. All right. Let's see. If you guys do have any more questions, again, we're hanging out with Joe, a Red Hood Comics pro presser, we're calling it.
Oh, one of the main things is gloves, man.
Cotton. What do you use?
Medical.
I'll show you. But that's one of the main things. Is I definitely don't touch anybody's book. It's amazing. Is CGC doesn't use gloves. I do. How in the hell am I getting fingerprint on the damn book?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
they had that famous video where they were like pre-screening books at a con, and it's like a Superman like 1 or something like that. And then you see the person handling it, they're just like all over the book and stuff like that. Everyone's comments like, is this how you handle all your books?
I've not seen this video, but I am mortified.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Joe, you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
right?
You know what my theory on that, and I think I told you was the guy was probably supposed to be using gloves, and they were filming, and he wasn't wearing gloves. And I bet you Matt Nelson just flipped his shit, man, and had to play, in just a spin doctor on that whole thing. Oh yeah, we need to be able to feel restoration with our hands, and I was like, bullshit, man. Bullshit. I've never picked up a book. Oh yeah, color touch right there. I can feel it.
Heard
in
it
my
here.
hand.
You heard
You're a lying sack of shit.
CGC likes the raw dog.
Yeah.
No protection. Oh man. Well, you know what's funny, and that's why I asked you about maybe doing a book or something like to put the information out, because they make it sound so difficult to train people on this. Because I bet you there's no set course. They probably put together some bullshit PowerPoint and was like, here are the pro tips. Because there's no course you can go through. Like Joe, how long have you been doing this?
Almost 10 years, man.
Okay, so according to work standards, him doing this for almost 10 years technically qualifies him to teach it as a bachelor's degree.
Thank you.
And that's absolutely true. You're a professional. That's the equivalent. That experience is equivalent of a BA in pressing comic books, guys. Just let that marinate for a second.
Oh, you know what? Also, a jeweler's lamp. Okay, so with LED light, that is one of my. I've got two of them, right? And then I've got a big LED behind me, like the barbershops use or photographers. The most light that you can get on your books, the better. And even taking it outside in natural sunlight just to make sure. I mean, that is, if I'm going to give any kind of advice, get you a nice, you can get one on Amazon for like $69, and it has magnification and it has LEDs around it. And it's invaluable because that's what CGC is using. Right. So you want to use the same type of stuff that they are that they're looking at your book with, because, and honestly, that's helped get my own books back in 9/8, man. I mean, I'm seeing what they're seeing. So, and definitely picking out good candidates to send in. I mean, if you're going to spend $20-something to get a book graded, make it worth it. Don't send rags in and they come back 9.2s, 9.4. Make it worth your while, man.
Yep, I agree.
Here's a pretty good question from Joe Medina. What size magazine backing boards for Inside Book?
What size magazine backing boards?
For Inside the Book, I guess. Like when you're pressing it.
I don't use magazine backing boards for Inside the Book. And that's what a lot of guys use when they're using those heat presses. And I use acid-free cardstock paper, probably about 65 pound, 40 pound, 90 pound, depending on how much pressure I need. But I will not use a backing board.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I buy the craft paper
because the more I see people like sandwiching and packing out their book. You're going to loosen the paper from the staple, period. Like you may not see it, but you're doing you're putting some pressure in that staple area. And that's the critical part. That's what holds your book together.
Oh, because you're adding extra pages into it or extra thickness into it. And then,
absolutely.
And then as you're pressing it down, I can see. And so that's how what you were talking about earlier, when like staples can pop out and stuff like that out of the.
Absolutely. The most important thing is the humidification process, right? So if you can get the book to a state where it's malleable, like you don't need that type of paper and all that in there, man. It's.
So the humidification process, you've mentioned that twice, and I keep thinking like home humidifiers or cigar humidifiers or something like that.
So I have a tricked out humidor, and and it needs to be at a certain temp for modern silver. After the show, if you want, I mean, I could show you.
That might be kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys aren't going to get too many of the backstage stuff, but Joe will answer the generic questions for the basics. Those are what he's talking about right now. Frank, anything popping up yet? Because I know you're here to learn.
I'm honestly, I'm taking a lot of this in. I'm honestly excited for the next portion. Where we get to see a little bit of this in action, which, I'm not sure how the segment will play out, but I think it's worth doing. But I am thinking, why don't we do? I know you've got some questions still, and I know we've got that backstage access a little bit later. So why don't we do a little bit of a lightning round? Throw out your questions, and let's see if we can get quickie 1-2 sentence answers.
All right. Let's go. Well, I asked a lot of mine. Do you guys have one?
What is your favorite book that you've ever pressed?
There you go.
That's kind of a generic question, but Says a lot about a man.
Oh wow. There's so many favorites. I've pressed Amazing One, X-Men One, just all the big bad boys, man. But I think this this one time this kid went into a comic shop and he found these books in a garage, and he had an Avengers One, and it looked on the book he had like a rat bit the quarter of the Avengers, and the comic shop dealer was gonna offer him like $50, and
Wow.
and I was just like, I pulled him aside and I said, "Hey man, I'll fix that book for you," and I'll and he goes, "Yeah, I've heard about grading and stuff," and I go, "I'll send it off for you, just give me the fees and I'll send it for you." Well, it came back a 2.0. And the grader's notes
with a fucking bite mark out of it.
Yeah, so on the grader's notes it said corner chewed out or something to that effect. It was the most hysterical shit. But he got a 2.0 and he was able to sell that book for over $2,000. And so, that made me feel good because that kid was going to get ripped off, So I would say that's up there,
The next segment just got way more interesting. So,
yeah.
So I've sent in a book before, and I've hit a 9.9. And have you ever heard this grader's note on it? Extremely minor edge wear.
Yeah.
Like, is that just like the craziest thing you've ever heard on a 9.9?
That's fucking pedantic.
If you're gonna grade somebody's book at a 9.9, just give them a fucking 10, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's some petty shit. The problem with CGC, I'll tell you what the problem is.
Oh, there's just one.
Okay, if you're gonna grade, if you're gonna grade a book, every book in theory, if you're grading a book, starts off at a 10, and then you decrement any defect from there, right? But it seems like they're starting every book off at a 9.8 and decrementing from there, because I've seen books that have one flaw and it's a 9.6. So which is it? Like, if a book starts off at a 10, then one defect is a 9.8, bro, not a 9.6. And that's the biggest horse shit from the grading companies. That which is it? Are you starting off at a 10 in theory? Because if not, then let's change the whole scale.
Right.
And that's what pisses me off about it, because they're not as transparent as they like to make themselves out to be.
That's why people treat 9.8s like a 10, right? Like
absolutely,
a 9.9 is a unicorn. They happen. They tend to happen in batches, which I find really weird, which makes me think it's more the grader than the books. But 9.8 is the standard for a reason, because that, even if they're not honest about that, that is obviously the way it is.
It's just the inconsistencies, it's like. Yeah. I mean, come on, there's got to be that one guy that after, let me see it, and the final screen, man, that book's a 9.8, dude. Send it, give him a 9.8. That's a 9.8 all day. Where's that guy?
Well, that's the problem. I think that, and it's so funny because these are like running jokes. So you talk to people about grading and they're always like, they're afraid to give anything above a 9.8 up. You look at a perfect book and they're like, they're afraid to be that guy that gave a 9.9 or a 10. Then there's no consistency. There's the running joke that's like, oh, it depends on how good that guy's week was. If he's fighting with his wife, your books are going to come back 9.6s and 9.4s because he wants to be an asshole.
9.0s.
And 9.0s and all that good stuff. And it's just, there's, like you're saying, there's no consistency. Each person's different. They evaluate differently. It can depend on their mood, which shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't understand, with all the technology we have, how is there no scanning system where they put the book down, create an algorithm, scan it, these are the color pages, these are the ticks and color breaks, boom, here's your grade.
And then my favorite phrase that I hear people always say, like, grading is subjective. Like, why is it subjective when there's already like Overstreet has a written set of guides to what, what imperfections make this this grade. So I mean, I don't understand that phrase personally. I mean, I get it that we're all human and we see things like differently, blah blah blah. But I mean, like, you know, when we're talking about like a scale on something, like, shouldn't it be a consistent like scale that we always use?
So page quality, right? They have a scale for page quality as far as the color tone for off-white, white. You know what I mean? So you have that, so that there really shouldn't be any kind of. I mean, there's a standard, right? You can match it up and see what page quality you have. I mean, the biggest thing is the inconsistency. If they say that they're starting every book off at a 10 and decrementing from there, then you would see a lot more 9.8s. The problem is, in my opinion, they're starting every book off at a 9.8 and then decrementing from there. Period.
Right. And you're probably spot on that. So we got a question from one of the chat members here. What is the highest bump you've received from a cracked CGC case?
Man, I got a funny story after that, but like the highest bump I've taken, like a 8.5 to a 9.8. I've done that, but I've also taken a 7.5 down to a 6.0. and then yeah, I did that for a buddy of mine. He had an Avengers book, the first appearance of Kang, and that book had waves in it, and you know, he said, "Hey man, what do you think? You can get it to an 8.5?" And I said, "Yeah, you know, let's do it." So I cracked it open, pressed it, sent it in, and it came back a 6.0. And my buddy was like, "I'm gonna kill you," you know. And I said, "You know what? Give me that book back. I paid for the 1 week turnaround time. I paid the $100. I pressed it, and it came back in its original grade. And I go, those bastards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That book was clean. You talking about cleaning the cover? It was dirty, and I cleaned the shit out of it. And I was pissed. Jeez. So I can honestly say I could take your book down to a 6 and then take it back up to a 7.5 again. You know, I mean, it was the most unbelievable thing, but it taught me a lesson as far as being a little more humble, because I think at that time I was cocky as shit. And it kind of leveled me out and kind of don't rush through anything. You know, always challenge yourself and just being humble and being patient and taking your time, because I think you know, everybody was saying, "Oh man, that you're awesome, yeah." And I was thinking I was walking on water, and I probably rushed that book and didn't give that book its what it needed. Humidity was a factor, and I think waves were. I didn't triple board that book like I should have, and it probably had some issues as far as adhering because of, you know, going from Corpus to Florida, you know, with the heat, you know, and it being in storage and who knows what temperature they have it in there.
Yeah,
absolutely. But you know, so you need things like that to kind of humble you. I'm just glad I was able to get his book back to where his grade was, man.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sounds like you're saying that if you win all the time, you should let it go to your head. I don't know who needs to hear that, but
oh my goodness,
that should be a life lesson for you, right?
But you know, as far as
the hard way,
as far as from a reputation standpoint, like I didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like you know, you're paying me to take the risk together, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, I feel like I own 100% of that. If I tell you I can do it,
attaboy.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's ownership around that, taking full responsibility. Now, if and that's another thing, and I should have, the process when I'm looking at books, like especially Silver Age, I'll pre-screen them for restoration as well.
Right on.
Because I know what to look for, and I've got like some lighting that I can see color touch as well. So if I see a book has been restored, I let them know, hey, there's restoration on this book. Do you still want me to press it and clean it? Because if you send it off, there's a chance that it's going to come back with a purple label.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I've attempted to take off restoration a couple of times, and it's come back a blue label, but I don't want to delve into that because, you're at risk of, when you get books back from like the 60s and 50s, the paper is, broken down over time, man. It's like,
it's lived some life. It's seen some years,
Yeah, absolutely.
So real quick, I want to give a shout out to some people in the chat. 9 Square Inches is still with us. Jay Burns is hanging in there. We had some really good comments. We didn't put them up because they were a little inappropriate. Like this one from Tim King, Glove reduces sensitivity. Nigel is joining us as well. Raw Dog is the best. And Jay again with the no glove, no love. Appreciate all the comments, guys. Joe Medina still here. JR Garcia had a great question. Ultra has joined us. Starboy 73. Lucy Mama Comics is in the house. Somebody named Frank Gogol. Somebody. And then my boy, my second grade homie, Anthony Divins is in the house, guys. So welcome in again. We're hanging out with Joe from Red Hood Comics. Pro Presser, best in Texas is what we hear. There's 2 things really good in Texas: barbecue and Joe.
I feel like the barbecue thing might be fighting words, man.
That's what I hear. I'm in Arizona, so I don't know.
You know that meme of the dude on like getting the gold medal and he's like chewing on it, spraying himself with champagne.
Yeah.
Like, I saw one of those the other day. It was like 15 like people in the winner's circle, and like Texas was last for barbecue.
Oh, jeez.
I like Texas barbecue. I don't think it's the best.
All right.
Yeah. Where has?
Yeah.
I want to know where there's better barbecue than Texas because I got to try it now.
Oklahoma City for sure.
Okay.
It's probably somebody that lived in Texas and moved to Oklahoma, man.
Nah, you can taste the difference.
Come on, baby.
Anything in North Carolina is going to be better. Like just vinegar-based barbecue sauces or so. That's not what this show is about.
Yeah, but you're talking about barbecue sauces, man. Like if you barbecue like Texas style, you don't need any sauce, man.
That's not the experience, man. That's just cooked ass meat.
That's true, man. Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm sure if I was a barbecuer, like a presser, I'm sure I would have some more emotion around it.
I wouldn't have the conversation with you if you were. I don't fuck with experts. They're too smart.
So I do have a story about a book I had that was already graded. It was a CBCS 6.0. I read the grader's notes because CBCS has grader's notes for all their books. I saw that all the defects were pressable, crossed over grade to CGC at half off, and then sent it to their in-house pressing and cleaning. Does anyone want to guess what grade it came back as?
What it start as?
6.0, modern.
9.4.
Joe?
6.5.
9.0.
All right, close without going over wasn't me, but
yeah. But I mean, have y'all ever heard of a grade?
Absolutely.
Bump? Okay.
And if I worked for CGC, I would do that all day long. You know why? Because then you're going to go, man, I'll never send a book to CBCS again.
Yeah.
What a concept.
Yeah.
I did that with Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. I had a CBCS 9.6. I did it strictly for a crossover because I wanted the Deadpool label. 9.9, please. That.
Yeah.
I came back at 9.8. And I was like, man, okay.
What?
Nice.
I will say that, I pressed out a Amazing 129 for a customer of mine, and he had a page cut. He had the coupon cut out of that Amazing 129. I said, well, I'll press it, but it's going to come back a green label. And he goes, yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, no, it came back a blue label.
Wow.
Dude, he was so happy. He called me like 3 or 4 times. Yeah, I just want to thank you for everything, man. I said, well, dude, I didn't put the coupon back, bro.
I mean, since it didn't affect story, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but I've seen where books have come back with missing what is that digital code. All of a sudden you're seeing more of that.
This is so unregulated.
Yeah,
I've submitted books that I've signed that I wrote and got purple labels back.
Oh wow.
which is insane. And blue.
What does it say? What does it say? Ink
Wait.
on page or something like
I
that?
don't know. I didn't
It says
even,
name
I didn't
written on
even
cover.
look because I cracked them open and sent them back and got the fucking.
Did you
yellow
call?
labels like
Did
I
you
should've.
call and be like, "Hey, I'm
No,
Frank Gogol. That's my signature," and they go, "Who?" It's ink on label, dude.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I called CGC and I said, I thought, if you did fast pass, it cuts the turnaround time in half. So if you got an 88-day turnaround time, how is 60 days half of 88?
Okay, so this is
that's
funny.
CGC math.
I sent in 35 books, and at the time it said 33-day turnaround. This was 2 months ago. Then I fast pass everything. I'm not going to wait that. So then by the time they got around to opening my books, they said, we're now opening these books. It was at 88 days. So I called them and said, hey, dude, I got a screenshot. It said 33 days. They basically told me tough shit. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. It said it when I submitted them. When you received them, they don't care. They're doing what they do.
Right. I mean, they're in breach of contract, man. So, I mean, I don't know if the Better Business Bureau would do anything about it, but I mean, my buddy's book's been there since January. It's that damn Turtles magazine book. What is it? Last Ronin.
Oh,
and
nice.
It's been there since January. And the lady there goes, "Oh, it's been graded. It's been graded." But I go, "Well, can I at least have the grade?" And she goes, "Well, no. Until it ships, then we can give you the grade." And I said,
It's not gonna be a
it's
good
been there.
grade.
In theory, I should already have the book, don't you think?
Especially if it's been graded.
And she goes, "Yeah, I know." And I go, "It's been a long time, people have been, I go, and I go, people have been dying. I'm lucky to be alive. Can I at least have my grade? It's a true story, man.
That's a strategy. Listen, CGC is terrible. Like I'm not gonna two ways about it. Like they're inconsistent. They make up their own rules. And people will keep paying them to do that. So it's never going to stop. I will say that I have had a lot of customer service interactions with a lot of people at CGC, and I've always found them to be helpful. I've always found them to be kind. So at least there's some kind of soul in that building over there in Florida.
I would just rather someone be hostile with me so I could be more hostile back. And I recorded a prank call, like, my stepson has it on his phone or whatever, and he claims he's still editing it, but I asked him, "Hey, can I pay more if you guys wear gloves? Like if I send an extra $10, can you wear gloves when you're grading my books?" And then I asked him, "Does Matt Nelson grade books? And would he have his own color label if he graded my book? And how much do I have to pay for Matt to grade my book?" And just a whole bunch of bullshit like that.
That's
so I'm
awesome.
we're gonna play it sometime, man. As soon as stepson's done with it.
All right. Well, I think that we got a general idea for this thing.
We could do a whole nother episode on all
totally
the things that we didn't get to, but we have been on for about an hour. And I'm after that Avengers bite mark story, I'm anxious to get to the next one.
Yes.
Tim, if you could bring my slide up real quick. We are going to play a game called Press or Pass, where Ant Gee and I will present Red Hood with some comics from our collection, a couple apiece. We'll have to describe the books more so than let him get a good look. We'll do what we can with the cameras. And then he'll tell us if it's worth sending it to him to press, or if it's something we should pass on, or if there is some other bit of advice, just kind of so we can see this process in action to some extent. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
All right. Ant's got like 80 books. He's going to have to figure out 3.
I'm just going to take the top 3.
All right. Just
here, I'll go real quick. So,
hang on. Is there any Liefeld books? Is there any Liefeld books that anyone's piled? Just take those out right now.
Yeah. So, what do you think, Joe? Should I send you this to press to see? Like, I know there are a few spine ticks that do break color.
And take it out of the bag.
Take it out of the bag. Yeah.
Take it out of the bag. Let's see. What'd you pay for it?
Cover price. So I'm not complaining. I mean, this is a hot book on the Hot 10. But I found it. I got it through Midtown, but I bought one copy because that's all they would let me. And this is how it ended up. And they just ended up refunding my money and not asking back for the book. So like,
if somebody had a book like that and they had other books, I would press that for free. Serious.
Yeah.
We'll submit that, and we'll see the before and after, so we can see what a fucking miracle worker Joe is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah.
if it, by
here's a
some
couple-
miracle, if it doesn't have any color breaking issues, I got you.
Yeah. So here's a couple books Joe did press for me, and then I'm definitely going to be sending both of these bad boys in. So
Nice.
yeah.
What is Department of Truth?
Yeah. So this is Department of Truth number 2. This is the 1 in 25. First Starface Man, and yeah, it's one of those crazy looking cover books, and
That was a controversial ass cover, but it's cool. It's very cool.
It's smoking, and so yeah, and then I have a
Nice.
Joe also pressed this book. This is Something Has Killed in Children number 3, second print. So I mean, I'm sure everyone's seen this bathtub cover as is at his nickname. Yeah. And then I think this is the most impressive book that he actually pressed for me, was a Ultimate Fallout number 4, first print. Like, there were some issues on the bottom right corner. There was a spine tick by the staple. Like
the middle had
yeah. And then and I think it had that what all Ultimate Fallout 4s have is like that initial bend from the poly bag that's in the back. So yeah, so this is pretty exciting.
Yeah. All right. Do you have another one for Press or Pass?
Yep. Here's one for Press or Pass. This is our giveaway. This is the Captain America Sam Wilson.
This was ballsy, man.
Ballsy. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's like some like.
Oh, I see it. I'll take that out.
Yeah. So I mean, like, this is why I'm saying that, like, it doesn't break
I got
color.
it.
This is like easily pressed, and so like and then the only other thing I saw on it when inspecting the book was there's like a slight color rub on the back. So there's nothing you can do about that. I know that, but the hip hop covers are notorious for that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So that's
I'll fix the front of the book, definitely.
Yeah. That counts as a press. That's a press. He's got one in.
So he's got 2 presses for me. So I mean, obviously, I'm not going to send this book for press.
Yeah, and I don't do that
as a giveaway.
And I don't charge for pre-screening somebody's books, man. That's the most whack stuff. If I look at your book and you want to do something for the customer to hey, this guy's all right. It's a customer service, man.
Chad Cave, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, jeez. All right. Yeezy, you got one? Are we just taking turns, or he's going through his pile? What are we doing?
What you got, Ant? What you got? What book do you got?
Hit me. All right,
Wild West, man. It's Wild West.
I've got a Batman 357.
Okay.
Let me line you up with the spine here. Actually, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to give you the once over. Yeah, let's take this bad boy out. All right, so it looks like to me, I'm gonna get some reflection on it, that this is pretty flat on the top. Surface looks flat, maybe a light clean. You've got some indentation next to the staple, about a 1/4 inch up from the staples. I don't know if you can see them, but
yeah,
a little bit there. You got a tick here, but it's got a big white edge, so it doesn't go into the color, but it probably would have broke.
How's the back look? The back of these, they're all white, so it's got like the printer mark here from the rollers, and then one down here. Corners are sharp, but you see the little bend down there next to staples. Oh yeah, definitely. I see that corner.
Yeah, and then what is this? This is color rub. It's red, so I don't know if that's a printer defect, if they would even count that.
I think I can get that off anyway.
Yeah,
I got you.
Roughly going with grading on this, I'd say this is probably an 8 to an 8.5 by itself. What do you think you would raise this bad boy to?
At least a 9, 9.2, 9.4.
And this is, of course, in honor of our guest here. We got a Jason Todd, a key book here, Red Hood Comics, joining us. If you guys are just tuning in, had to pull something Red Hoodie for you. All right, so that's a press.
Yep, that's done. That's a done deal.
I like it. All right, we going to Gogol, or should I go another one?
Let's do one more.
All right. I got
What
an
you
older
got?
book here.
Okay.
Test your skills. I don't want to pull anything too easy. You got a Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer on the cover of this one, issue 55. You got some folds here, obviously, with some color breaks, some frayed edges, all the classic wear and tear up and down the spine. Everything's intact. Staples look nice. There's no tearing next to them. The back, of course, is that grungy, dirty. Looks like you got a finger tear right here from a flip through.
Yeah, I'll make that. I'll clean that up. Oh yeah, I get you a 5.5, 5.560. Yeah,
And I was gonna say this is probably a 3.35, so you could get a 4-point bump on that.
no, you get a 5 as long as there's no tears. You get a 5.
Now, Fantastic Four at 55, is that even worth grading at a 5?
Man, it's such an iconic cover too, man.
That's why I pulled a hard one. There's nothing in the book.
so if you're looking to flip, no. If it's quick money, no. If it's for a PC, yeah.
All right,
absolutely.
so I'm a retailer, so that counts as a pass for me. So I got one press and one pass so far.
Okay, if you're a retailer and you slab it and you put it on the wall, you'll sell it.
But
You
it
see
would
what
be
I'm
worth
saying?
my investment. Is it going to increase the value by this?
What did you pay for it?
You guys don't want to know. I don't.
Did you pay close to market? Did you pay close to market? How about that? That would be a
no. God, I don't buy anything close to market. You can't stay in business doing that.
Right. If you can triple your money, I mean, isn't that a good investment? So you're going to pay what, $30 to get it graded?
Average without having like a dealer account, you're talking about $36 round trip.
Right. So $36. Would you pay $25 for that book, man?
I paid $1.25.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You put it on the wall, 5.0 sold. What does a 5.0 go for? FF 55 on eBay right now.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, I didn't look up that far. I should have.
5.0. I want to say 300, 350.
Yeah, I'll look at it 5.5.
Because it's a nice cover, but it's not the first. So
look at 5.0. 5.0. I feel comfortable. I could get it.
And see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I thought that book was a good one, because there's nothing inside. The cover is iconic and is beat to hell.
Okay, a month ago, a 5.5 sold for 160.
Ooh, I was way overshooting it, but that I believe that.
So you can't. So you can triple your money, and that's if you're. Oh, so I worked at my uncle's comic shop for close to 20-something years, man. So like, if you could triple your money, it's absolutely worth the investment.
Should I just do my last one? Because I got one more interesting one.
Go for it.
All right. This is a Tales to Astonish issue 59. This is a key book here, but here we go. Here's something cool for you. It's got the library stamp on it.
They don't grade against that.
Yeah.
So I know they don't, but can you remove it?
I could, but I won't.
That's restoration.
Yeah.
But you're removing ink that was aftermarket. Still count?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
here we go. I wanted to put some thinkers.
I've had so those dates. I've taken dates off, and I think I might have one on my IG, but like it takes some time to take it off because of that
some chemical process.
Yeah, and I honestly, like I wouldn't even. You don't even need to do it. You know what I mean? It's not going to change the grade one way or the other. You know what I mean? That's maybe 10 years ago, people didn't want it. And if, that might be a thing. I may have attempted it, but now I'm just like, no, you want that because that kind of adds character to that book. You know?
I never thought of it that way. So this has lived in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah. It adds character to that
and it
book.
Found its way to me here in Arizona.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that, Joe. That's fantastic.
Hey, Joe, that book looks familiar.
Is that one of my spec books?
Wasn't that one of your spec books?
So Tales to Astonish 59?
Yep.
The first giant.
So that's the first reveal of Hulk that you find out that he anger is what gives him his power, right? Or his metamorphosis into the Hulk, right? So I spec'd on a couple of books, you know, since Donnie Cates is going to be writing books and they're going to delve into his just overall anger is what the synopsis said. So why not start there? That might be a key book later on. And it's an awesome cover, man. I love the Tales to Astonish covers, man. They're just beautiful.
Love it. All right. Well, that was my 3 books. Let's move over to. Is it Gogol? Yeezy, you showed all yours?
Yeah, I showed mine. I mean,
all right, Gogol, what'd you pull?
All I have is books that he's already pressed. So, you know.
They're all done.
Yep.
All right, so,
Yeah, man.
You guys have been watching this for a while. You're going to recognize pretty much all of these books because I cherry picked my favorites because I want answers. So first up, I've got Sentai number 2. This is the first American Parents to Power Rangers. Right, this was a gift book. A retailer gifted to me because I'm a big fan. I'm writing some of the books now. It's not a great copy. It's definitely got spine ticks. I don't know. Can we see those?
Yes.
And then it's got some waving right there.
Oh man, I could take that off.
Yeah. So I don't care what the grade is, but the goal is to.
I care.
Yeah, sorry. Let me just give some context. Like I don't flip most of my books. This one's a special one. I'm gonna take it around with me to cons and try and rack up as many of the signatures as I can from the cast, and then eventually get it graded. So first question is, should I get it pressed before I get it signed, or does it matter?
Ooh, good one.
It's a modern book. The paperweight's pretty heavy, especially on the cover. I'd say it's probably 80, if not 100. Like it's heavyweight paper. So like I wouldn't worry about it like curling too much or anything like that.
I tell you what I would do. I would get it pressed first and get it slabbed and let CGC crack it open and witness it and let them, that way it retains the same grade. Right. So I wouldn't give CGC an opportunity to, you know, you get all these signatures and then you go get it and use their in-house presser, CCS, BS or whatever, where they just throw it in 5 minutes. Press is done. You know, as long as they're taken with books, you cannot tell me they're doing their very best to give you a high quality press at CGC or CCS or whatever bullshit. You know, I would press that book first, get it slabbed, and let them crack it open and let them witness all the signatures you're going to put on that book, Frank.
All right, good. All right, so my second book is Crow number 1. This is signed by James Abar. This is one that would CBCS eventually. It's a really, really clean copy. It's not going to be a 9/8 by any means. It's definitely got a couple like really, really minor spine ticks and then a little bit of wrinkle, like right there, kind of left of his ear. But it's, you know, for a black book, it's got almost no color rub. Except for this little.
Hey, you're putting fingerprints all over it, though, Frank.
I know. I had to take it out of the thing. I had to take it out of the thing to show you.
But after you clean it, you'll take those off. You're right.
Yeah, I'll take it off.
This is one that I wouldn't flip. This is my favorite book of all time.
Man, it's a classic, dude. A Crow, man. It's awesome.
But awesome. On a copy like this, that, you know, for a black book has no color rub, it's got a little wrinkling. You know, what do you think you could do with it if you had to eyeball it right now?
I can eyeball it right now. I'm gonna look awesome. Okay. I'm serious. And like I treat every book like it's my book, man. You know, and I love comics, and I love fixing comics. It's cathartic for me, man. I'm in retail, the hustle and bustle, man. That shit calms me down, you know, and it's the word cathartic. That's the only word I can think of. It fulfills me. That's for sure.
I feel that. I definitely feel like I don't love my comics enough at this point in this conversation.
Yeah, you gotta love this thing, man. I mean, it's like, you know, you're pressing books, man. This is, if you get burnt out, you know, step aside and don't take submissions. You know, take a break, because if your heart's not into it, you're not going to do a good job for your customer, man. I mean, you've got to be into it and you got to be locked in, or you're going to make a mistake, or you're not going to press out a defect that anybody else could, you know? I mean, I understand you can make a lot of money doing this, but don't take submissions if you're not going to do your very, very best,
That's cool. When you open up a store one of these days, Joe, you're going to call it the Red Hood Comic Spa.
Yeah, man.
Because of all that love.
I like
Oh, man.
All right. I got one more. Man. I got one more book for you. This is a key, like a real key. Not that the other two weren't, but this is definitely the keyest of the three. It is it's graded. I bought it raw, got it graded. I bought it for $1,500 cash in Houston. So shout out to you guys. I submitted it. I got it back, and I didn't care what the grade was because I'm probably never going to sell it. But I was a little surprised that the grade was so low, just because there's no grader's notes. Came back with off-white to white pages, but like it's definitely got a lot of spine ticking. It's got a little bit of pen on it. Some kid somewhere. It's got a not mouth.
It's probably an old man now.
Yeah, well, maybe. It's got a very small tear out of the cover, like 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch, somewhere in that range. So it's Avengers #1, which you brought up earlier. It came back at $2.5. So on a $1,500 investment, I feel like I got my money's worth for sure. Like I said, let me see. The spine is there's the little piece missing, right? Like it's just like tiny little piece, and then the spine is a little beat. Not a lot of wrinkling that I can see. Trying to get you a good look here. There is some, you can't see it well on the camera, and then like I said, there's a little bit of pen like right there in front of Loki's face.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So do you think you could improve the grade on this?
Let me see the back.
Back looks good. Like nothing out of the ordinary there. It's off white, but no pen, no tears. Actually,
and you bought it ungraded.
Yeah, and
did you have it pressed or anything?
No.
Wow.
Never pressed it. I mean, honestly, I didn't even think of it. Like I wanted it preserved so I didn't fuck it up.
I've pressed a lot of those. I mean, I would love a crack at it. If you want me to do it, I'll crack it open, man.
You think you'll make it worse? I hear it's a risk. Yeah, going in, I was like, I'm gonna do this, but then you're like, oh man, it's gonna come back a 0.5, like my F number 5 back there.
Matching grades though.
Right, but that one's covered in tape.
Yeah.
You always run that risk.
I mean, I wouldn't tell you let's take a crack at it if I didn't trust my ability. Now I can't take that pen mark off.
And I'm not going to ask you to.
And so there is absolutely no grader's notes on there. Like no, you can't buy them or anything.
I mean, I didn't check to buy. It's got 2.5 off-white to white pages. It's got the credits, first appearance information, Fantastic Four, Loki. It says first appearance of Fantastic Four. I
bet you there is grader's notes. Probably costs
one small piece of tape in interior cover. Maybe that's what it was. I never read that before. So now what do you think?
That's
you
tough.
Think you could do a 3.0 on this?
God, that tape thing bothers me, but man, I think I could.
Could we remove the tape without damaging the book?
Man, I would have to see it, dude. Like, I would have to see it. Like, I've done it before, but I would have to see it. Yeah. I feel like a doctor, and you're telling me the symptoms, and I said, let's get you into the doctor's office. Let me put you get an X-ray or two so I can give you a full
exploratory surgery.
Yeah.
This is all meant to be purely academic to kind of give the people watching a sense.
but I just, with the experience, I like kind of diagnosing some things. Yeah, I mean, I always look for like what you showed me with the crow. Like I definitely I can see the issues on there, and like as much as you love that book, I picture in my head you getting the book back and going, holy shit, this dude's good, Yeah, I mean, nice. That's what gets me going. Like just what your reaction, because like Aaron, I called Aaron. I wanted him to send me a link so I could see his reaction when he was unboxing his stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because like I enjoy that. Like when people see what I can do, they're like, oh man, you know, I've never had one person go, and you screwed me, bro. You know,
Except for your buddy.
yeah, that was it. But hey, I turned that around, man.
Yeah, man, it's okay to make mistakes. We fix them.
Yeah. So for the giveaway winner, I will also throw in Red Hood's card. So
Ooh,
if you want to
there
hit
you
him up for pressing, you know, you have his contact information. So, you know, this is who I would recommend to press your book.
It's who comic book food chain recommends. We don't recommend CBCS or CGC.
No, yeah, we don't recommend either grading companies, but pick one.
You know, thanks for having me on. If you guys want me to, I can donate a book for y'all's show, man. Something cool.
You know, it'd be cool
I'll send it to Aaron or whatever.
If you want to donate a pressing or something, like
I could do that. Yeah, if we, you know, some lucky fan, you know, send their book, yeah, and I'll press their book for them.
Do a little before and after.
I'll give them a little taste.
First taste is free, but after that,
that's it.
Yeah, I already sent him to 30 books, and you know, once I get grades back, you know, I already have my next pile of books starting to pile up. Like,
and I would tell people, and I would tell people out there, don't be cheap, man. You know, like I had a buddy of mine, and he had something that's killing the children, number one. You know, and he's probably going to hate me for calling him out, but him and his buddy, like they were sending him off to get him signed and then graded. And his buddy had two of them, and he had one. And his buddy paid me to press it, and I said, "Do you need yours pressed?" And he goes, "How much you charge?" And I go, "I think at the time it was like $8, you know." And he goes, $8. And I said, "Yeah, it's just $8." And he goes, "Nah." What do you think his book came back at?
9.6 or
9.6. And what do you think his buddy's books came back at?
9.1.
They bought him off of the same rack, baby. So you could kiss my ass.
I love it.
He's even got a catchphrase.
You know, like, dude, like you're gonna on a 300-400. Now it's probably $1,000 book with an auto and a 9.8, right, or something like. What does that go for, you?
So Something Is Killing the Children, number 1, cover A, not signed, sells for anywhere from on the low end 1,100, and I think on the high end, and that's unsigned. So I think it averages out to be like 1,400, somewhere around there. And then I don't know what signs go for. I would assume in the 2K range, ballpark estimate.
Right.
I don't really follow Signature Series.
In a 9.6, you cut that value in half, don't you?
Yeah, from a 9.8 to 9.6, you always cut the value in half. I mean, there's always exceptions to the rule, but those are usually really rare books, or there's a huge gap where there's still meat on the bone.
Right. So like $8, and like I pressed 3 of those. I mean, I pressed 2 of them. 2 of them came back 9.8, and you didn't let me press yours, and it came off of the same at the same comic shop. You know what I mean?
Never let him forget that. Never.
Oh, I don't.
Yep. And next time it's $16 for him.
I love it.
Joe, it's been a blast.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys.
We don't want to take up your whole night, but we definitely want to have you back in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you later on, like if you guys want me to hang around or like the show, I don't know how long the show is going to go on, but yeah, definitely hit me up. I'll jump back on and kind of give you some secrets or whatever.
I like it. All right,
cool. Oh, yeah, just hang out backstage if you want.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that backstage.
Do you know who's killing the children? Is that one of the secrets you know?
Aaron might know, man. Aaron's a huge fan.
Aaron knows
it's something.
Oh, does Aaron like that book? I never heard him talk.
I never heard of it before.
Well, it's funny. You know, I didn't even pick that for. I didn't break the time rule this week, so I had the opportunity.
Nobody did, which is I'm fucking impressed.
All right, guys. Well, that was all the time we had for bringing on Red Hood Comics, guys. Hopefully, you guys learned something. Definitely go and give him a follow and reach out to him. Let's bring back up the slides because we got to give a couple shout outs, right? Don't we, Gogol?
Yeah. Well, I got some stuff to talk about.
Yep.
So we're gonna. So first and foremost, for all you guys who watch, however many of you there are who live in the LA area, next week I'm going to be down there for the release of Power Rangers Unlimited Edge of Darkness. If you want to come out, I'm going to be at Brave New Worlds, Collector's Paradise, Golden Apple, and the Comic Bug on Wednesday and Saturday next week. So feel free to come down, say what's up, get your book signed if you grabbed one or not. I don't care. But doing my due diligence. I'll be down there. So come hang out. In addition to that, I'm not going to be here next week because of that signing. I'm flying out on Tuesday night when we'll be on. So we will have a special guest in my seat with a topic to be determined depending on what guest we lock in. We have a couple really good options on the table for you guys. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Fingers crossed for Garrett coming back. I don't know if you guys remember him, but he's a fucking barrel of monkeys. Also, since I won't be here next week, and that will be our first show in July, I wanted to give you guys a heads up that my new book, Unborn, which is a sci-fi horror book, a little Power Rangers-y, a little alien-y, will be up for pre-order. These are the covers. The first one is the cover A by Man House, who you might remember from God Killers over at Aftershock. He's a great artist, one of my favorites. Cover B is from Simone Ragazzoni, who is my Edge of Darkness collaborator. He did the interiors for that book. Both of these are part of cover sets, so the A set and the B set will all look awesome together when they're all revealed and collected.
Very, very cool.
I know these guys have seen a few of them. And then the last one is the 1 in 20 incentive ratio cover. This is by Ivan Tao. So for those of you, I try to get my ratios low in my book so people can actually get them. So good luck.
Nice.
Hit me up if you need a hookup with a shop that's going to get one or whatever.
There you guys go.
But I did want to do something cool for you guys. You guys have done a whole bunch to support us. We're climbing up to 900 subs at this point, and like Ant said, we're on episode 17. We're just getting started, and we're
scratching.
Got a lot of steam.
Yes.
This hasn't been revealed yet. This is an alternate version of the Ivan Tao cover. This is our announcement variant cover. This is limited to 100. It is foil stamped, so everything you see in pink on this cover, the visor, the logo, the axe, will have foil stamping, spot stamped on those. So I want to do something a little special for the people who are always out there supporting us and supporting me. These are going to go on sale on Friday. I have put 20 of them in my web store right now, and I'm dropping the link in the chat right now.
What? That's awesome, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh dang! I'm gonna be.
We don't qualify. I'm assuming.
I was going to give you guys.
For you guys.
I was going to give you guys some, but if you're going to,
hell yeah,
I'll take the money.
No, I'm good with the free ones.
All right. So for those of you guys who are watching live every week, I want to do something special. There's 20 of these, first come, first serve. I'm pretty sure I set limits, but I'm not sure. So I wouldn't wait. If you want to grab one, this will go live. This will go on pay-per-view or whatever, free to view, review, whatever, tomorrow morning, and the rest of the world will get to see it. So don't wait if you want one of these.
Get over there.
And if you miss it tonight, they'll go on sale on Friday. There's another batch going out to my newsletter subscribers tomorrow morning. So if you guys missed tonight and you're not on there, go do all that. All right. So that link is in the chat.
Sweet. I love it, guys. Head over there.
May the odds ever be in your favor.
Real quick, I got to give a shout out to my guy, Chad Cave. No, I'm not losing weight, but I appreciate you noticing. It made me feel good to read that one. Thank you.
I thought you gained a little weight since last week. You look you look skinnier and blonder last week.
Skinnier and blonder last week. That was
right.
All right, keep us cruising because I know you got some more stuff coming up, right?
I think that's it for me.
I think everyone's just hungry for that. For that link,
Yeah. So he's gonna post that link, guys. Make sure you get over there and get that.
It's ready in the chat.
It's in the chat. But I wanted to circle back around. Also, make sure you give Gogol's his Power Ranger book a read. FOC is already coming on that. Our guy's doing big things. He's writing the Power Ranger books now. So,
Gogol, you might want to put it in the private chat so Ant can post it or whoever's logged into the food chain.
I'll drop that over there.
This one right here? No, that's not it.
I got you. But anyway, head over there. We're dropping the link for you guys. It's in the chat. Ant's going to put it wherever. Also, this morning we dropped our what we're eating for this week. go check that out. It's over on the homepage for the channel. We had some good picks this week. Only one Liefeld, so that was a plus. So definitely go over there, give it a look, and let us know in the comments, what you guys are reading. Because, like I said last week, I've been getting some good picks from you guys, and I'm just I don't have enough energy to be plugged into everything anymore. So every little bit helps finding those awesome books to read.
It's definitely been nicer having recommendations instead of me guessing anymore. So that's fantastic. Check it out, guys. Give it a thumbs up. Tell us what you think. Next one here, of course, we want you to do what we've been asking.
Oh wait, hang on, I gotta hit the thing again. My bad. I'm just clicking off things.
No worries.
So, sub the channel if you haven't. Hit the little subscribe button. You can follow us on Instagram over at Comic Book Food Chain. Do not follow us on Twitter because I'm done with that shit. I told you guys for a couple weeks I'd be putting an X over it, and I finally did. So sub the channel. Follow us on Instagram. Yuzi's putting up some great content over there.
Yes.
And if you have subbed the channel and you have not yet, hit the bell. We want to make sure you guys catch us live so that way you can get benefits like limited covers that are online right now and won't be there when people watch tomorrow morning kind of stuff. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
I have a question real quick. Did you just put an X over it to make it look like the X-Men logo?
No, I put an X over it because I didn't have time to
I thought that looked like the red X, that font from X-Men logo. I know it's super simple, but I thought, was that premeditated? Because I wouldn't put it past Gogol.
Damn, I was just going to put a pair of sneakers over it, but
some flip-flops. It's on vacation, guys. Don't use this.
I didn't have any time.
And then, of course, we're building towards that 900 giveaway. Make sure that you do all the goodies that Gogol just told you about. Hit all the bells. Send some people our way, guys. If you enjoyed the show, let people know. There's a lot of people to watch. There's a lot of good shows, but we're a little different.
Yeah. If you didn't know shit about pressing before you walked in tonight, and now you feel like a baller and you can get all your shit pressed, pay that forward. Let your friend know too.
I got it. You don't know about pressing? You're gonna learn today. You're gonna learn about pressing today.
you hungry to learn about pressing?
Hungry?
Be like the pro collector and send 30 books to Joe.
Yeah,
you got to get that gauntlet. 25 out of 25 are going to end up in 9.8.
I dig it.
What's the math on that? Yeah, $8 a book. But you'll probably sell one of them and make that money back, right?
Oh, easy, right?
Easy. He already told you. What was the lowest value book I had on there? $200.
Yeah, and he definitely told me that my Avengers is going to come back at a 9.1. So
I heard that too. We'll hold it. We got a video on that. All right, guys. Well, let's do the quick roundabout. Yeezy, final and closing thoughts.
Thank you for showing up,
Frank Gogol. Any nuggets before we go?
I'm going to take this week off because I feel like I learned a lesson about being humble this week. In 2 weeks, I'll be back to normal, though.
Right on. All right, guys. Well, that was it for Comic Book Food Chain. Until next time, stay hungry, y'all.